home. Carroll College Fighting Saints, ranked number 23 in the nation with a 5-2 record. They played 2 conference games, 1-1 in their Thursday-Saturday of last week slate against University of Montana Western. They picked up a victory and then lost on the road in a close one to Montana State University Northern. On the season, Carroll is 3-0 at home, and this is a big opportunity for them to pick up a 4th home win as they take on Bushnell University of the Cascade Conference. Bushnell University based in Eugene, Oregon. The Beacons come into tonight's matchup having lost 5 in a row. They are 2-5 on the season. So we will have tonight's game, and then tomorrow join us for Corbin University against the Carroll College Fighting Saints. Corbin was victorious earlier tonight as they defeated Frontier Conference's Montana State University Northern, so that should be a tough one. Joined now by former men's basketball coaching great from the Fighting Saints, Gary Turcotte. Gary, a home game, and it's going to be a full month before we see the Fighting Saints back in action for the hometown.
You know, Nick, I'm just grateful that that we have these home games now. It's really hard to get home games, especially before Christmas, and everybody's kind of revving up to take final exams all over the country. So, you know, to get 3 teams in here to play, 2 games each night, it's a real treat for basketball fans. And we got some good basketball teams in here. You know, the first game, MSU Northern, who I think is pretty good Frontier team, lost to Corbin University. Corbin, really, I was impressed with Corbin, how hard they play, good defense. Anytime you beat Sean Hughes, one of his teams, you got a pretty good club. So, these are good clubs coming out of this Cascade Conference. They're big. Both of these teams are big and deep, and lots of big, long athletes.
Absolutely. So Carroll College in the young season so far, they will be, as we mentioned, out of the PE Center, at least for competition, for over a month, as we will see them January 11th resuming Frontier Conference action at home. They'll have 2 games before that, but on the early going for the Fighting Saints, their defense has been really strong. They've held 3-point perimeter shooting to a 24.6 clip, so they've really had great perimeter defense, and that's been a staple along just good defense in general for Coach Kurt Paulson's team since he's come back to Helena as head coach. They have out-rebounded teams by 5 on the season, averaging, and then they've turned the ball over 11 times but forced 16. So they, again, on the defensive end, that's been something they can count on. And then offensively, they're still finding some new players and new roles. What are you going to be looking at here for the next couple games?
Well, I think that you hit on a real good point, Nick. I think Carroll, they lost, 2 All-American players off their team last year, and they're looking to try to figure out who's going to play where and who's the most effective and where do you need to get them the ball. And they're experimenting with different lineups, and they're putting guys in different places tonight. We'll see guys playing positions that they haven't played before this year. So Kurt Paulson is still, evaluating his team, evaluating his players, figuring out the rotation. And tonight will be a real good test for him because I know he's doing some different things tonight, and we'll talk about that as the game gets going.
And one player whose position in the offense has been solidified is the 6'8" senior from Castle Rock, Colorado, and that's Brendan Temple, who was named the Frontier Conference Player of the Week. He had 2 double-doubles in the Thursday-Saturday Frontier Conference matchups last week. He averaged 20.5 points, 12 rebounds, and shot 63% from the field. He's been efficient both from the field as well as at the free throw line. Tell our listeners what you can expect from his game, inside, outside.
Well, the thing about him, there aren't that many, 6'9" guys that play as hard as he does. I mean, he just doesn't take a play off. He plays just as hard at the defensive end as he does the offensive end. He's a fierce offensive rebounder. He's got real good post moves, great footwork, low post footwork. He can spin either way. He can finish with either hand. When needed, he can make jump shots. He doesn't take a lot of them. but he's a senior. He's a 4-year starter. He's been rock solid. He's just a great kid and just been the kind of guy you build program around.
And offensively, also for the Fighting Saints, Andrew Cook and Johnny Hillman, 2 guards, have both averaging 15.3 points on the young season. They lead the team, and then Temple, of course, as we mentioned. So those 3 Fighting Saints in double figures, averaging in the first 7 games of the season. Andrew Cook's been very efficient, 49% from the field. He's got a great mid-range game and then gets to the line and had 89% free throw shooting clip. We talked last week about in the second half he didn't have a lot of shot opportunities, so we imagine Kurt Paulson will look to get Andrew involved early and often on the offensive side.
I think that's a good point, Nick. I think the coaching staff wants to see, well, where do we need to get Braden the ball or Andrew the ball? Where's he most effective? And what position should we play him in order to do that? And I think you'll see him playing a little bit of the 4 tonight. With the small lineup. Sometimes Carroll goes with a 4 small lineup, and I think they're going to put him at the 4. And he has played some point guard. He's played some 2-3. But tonight I think he's going to try a little bit of the 4. I'm really interested to see how that looks.
That's one thing with the Fighting Saints is they have some offensive versatility in that Johnny Hillman oftentimes initiates the offense, but he's got a great back to the basket game. So you never know who's going to show up where on the floor a little bit. They do pose a challenge from a defensive side. And then for Bushnell, we'll be keeping an eye on Stevie Schlebach, who is shooting 55% from the field and 56 from 3. He averages 16 points per game. And then the big man Spencer Hoffman, a 6'11 junior from Eugene, Oregon. Hoffman averages 14 points and 8 rebounds and shoots 59% from the field. So those are 2 players we'll be keeping an eye on. Now we're going to break for the national anthem, and we'll be back with the opening tip-off.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the PE Center on the campus of Carroll College for tonight's second game of the Comfort Suites Classic between the visiting gave me the wrong name here. Beacons of Bushnell University and your 23rd ranked Carroll College Fighting Saints. Please stand and remove your hats for the pregame prayer by Father Mark Lenneman, Director of Campus Ministries and Chaplain of the college.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. Heavenly Father, we give you thanks, as always, for all your blessings, all your graces. And we thank you for this night. We ask for your protection over both teams, keep them safe from injury, and help us enjoy watching these good men play a great game. We ask this in your name, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you, Father Mark. At this time, as we pay honor to the United States of America, we ask that you direct your attention to the flag and remain standing for the singing of our national anthem. Tonight's anthem will be performed by Pam Gosing.
If you'd like, please join me in singing our national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were
We're back at the Carroll College PE Center for opening tip-off coming up shortly. The Carroll College Fighting Saints coming into tonight's matchup with a 5-2 record, ranked number 23 in the NAIA rankings. They are 3-0 at the Carroll College PE Center, and welcoming in for the Comfort Suites Classic, Bushnell University. They're from Eugene, Oregon of the Cascade Conference, and they are 2-5 and have lost 5 in a row. So Bushnell will look to see if they can snap that losing streak, and Carroll will have other thoughts. The starting lineup for Bushnell University, number 1 is Caden Sand, a 6'6 junior from Baker City, Oregon. Number 3, Stevie Schlebach, a 6'4 junior from Tigard, Oregon. He's joined by number 23, Luke Smith, a sophomore from Eugene, Oregon. Number 5, Trevin Richmond, a 6' junior from Portland, Oregon. And number 40, Spencer Hoffman, a 6'11 junior from Eugene, Oregon. So 2 Eugene starters for Bushnell University. And for the Fighting Saints, they go with a 4-guard lineup. The freshman Braden Cook from Helena Capital, Andrew Cook, a sophomore from Huntington Beach, California. Johnny Hillman, 6'2 senior from Post Falls, Idaho. Brendan Temple is the post, 6'8 senior from Castle Rock, Colorado. And Garrett Long, number 14 from Wenatchee, Washington, is a 6'1 sophomore. So Carroll College has, in the early season, gone with 4 guards, Coach. And tell us about that offensive set that they like to run.
Well, the last couple of ball games, Coach Paulson has gone with a 4-guard lineup and played forward around 1 around Brandon Temple, and it is a smaller lineup, but it's good ball handling, good shooting, awfully tough defensive, and athletic. They're athletic kids, and I think they're going to play Braden Cook at the point guard tonight, which will be really an interesting test for him tonight. I'm really anxious. He's just a really good basketball player. He's just a freshman, but I don't know if he's ever played point guard, so it'll be fun for me to see how he does tonight.
He was the Gatorade Player of the Year for Montana, led Capital High School to the state AA title. Very impressive and important get for Kurt Paulson to get not only a hometown talent, but one who's got starting as a freshman.
It's a great sign. It really was.
So the tip goes to the Fighting Saints, and we're off in action tonight from the Carroll College PE Center. Braden Cook, as you mentioned, started off with the ball. We've got Johnny Hillman going baseline, swings it out to Cook. Braden Cook with an opening 3. Awfully good start, Coach. So here comes Bushnell University. Caden Sand, defended by Andrew Cook. Sand swings it to Luke Smith. Smith has been providing good scoring prowess for them, and a back-to-the-basket turnaround by Stevie Schlebach knocks it down.
That guy just scores. I think that's Schlebach. He's gonna get a bunch.
He's been a terrific shooter all season long, both from behind the arc and as well as all over the court, shooting 55%, as we mentioned in pregame. So Brendan Temple on the outside with a face-up 3, and he knocks it down. So 2 quick threes for the Fighting Saints. So 6'2", just over a minute of game action so far, and the Fighting Saints have knocked down 2 triples. So Bushnell with Hoffman out, defended by Temple beyond the 3-point arc. He'll swing it to Trevin Richmond from Portland, and then a give and go into the post to Hoffman. Strong move, and draws a foul there.
Yeah, he did.
So Spencer Hoffman, the junior from Eugene, Oregon.
And that's on Brandon Temple, and that's Brandon he's the one guy you just can't get in foul trouble.
And he's given up 3 inches with the 6'11" Hoffman. Hoffman's been averaging 14 points and 8 rebounds so far for Bushnell. First shot hits the front of the rim, is no good. Fighting Saints in front, 6'2". And so for Kurt Paulson and his team, offensively, they haven't had a lot of strong three-point shooting overall, but we know they have capable three-point shooters, so it's good for them to see some makes in the early going.
See a couple of those go down right off the bat.
So Hoffman connects on the second free throw. It's 6-3, Fighting Saints in front. As you mentioned, Braden Cook initiating the offense as the point guard right now. He drops it off to Andrew Cook. Cook swings it to Long. Garrett Long had missed some time with a broken finger earlier in the season. Good to see him back out playing the Frontier Conference slate so far. Dribble penetration by Long. Swings it out to Hillman. 8 on the shot clock. Hillman give and go from Temple. And a kick out to Cook. Cook just misses. And the rebound controlled by Trevin Richmond. Trevin Richmond in transition gets to Slaybaugh. Slaybaugh a little out of control, and there's a charge call on the floor.
Johnny Hillman coming from the weak side that time, Nick, and took a charge. And on the baseline, you don't have to get out of the loop in there, the little horseshoe. And that was a good charge right off the bat. He does so many things, Johnny Hillman, to help your basketball team win.
One of 2 senior starters, a very important leader for the team. He's kind of a do-it-all threat on offense with a back-to-the-basket game. Great entry pass to the other senior, Brendan Temple. So Temple connects on a nice little jump hook, draws a foul.
Well, that time he set a high on-ball screen and slipped to the basket. Johnny Hillman with a real nice assist pass.
So Temple made a 3 earlier. He was the Frontier Conference Player of the Week last week, and he will look to get a 3-point play here. He's been very effective from the free throw line, just off to a fantastic start right now for the Fighting Saints. So he connects on the free throw, and it's 9-3 Fighting Saints in front in the early going. So Richmond dribbling to the corner, gives it to Slaybaugh, defended by Hillman. Caden Sand facing up, drops it over to Hoffman, handoff to Slaybaugh. Slaybaugh gets to the baseline, misses, offensive rebound.
I think that's 2 on Brandon.
So an offensive rebound there by Caden Sand from Baker City, Oregon.
So Brandon Temple with his second foul, and that just, he went up to get the rebound and kind of came down on the guy's back.
So off to a good start offensively, Brendan. He will have to head to the bench, and we will see the freshman Derek Kramer from Bellevue, Washington. Kramer has averaged 4 points and 4 rebounds. A nice move there by Caden Sand on the interior. Gets a bucket for the Beacons of Bushnell University. It's 9-5 Carroll College. So Derek Kramer, 6'9". He's the tallest player on the roster, so he'll be seeing some early action. We saw him in both Frontier Conference games. Saints move it around to Garrett Long, and he connects from 3. Fighting Saints 12, the Beacons 5. So the Fighting Saints have 3 threes and a 3-point play in the early going. Luke Smith, cross court to Slaybaugh. He's got an open shot, no good. Rebound, Andrew Cook, the sophomore from Huntington Beach, California. Gives it to Braden Cook. Back to Andrew Cook, over to Hillman. Hillman drives the lane, gets to the basket for a layup.
And just right off the bat, Nick, I can see Bushnell just struggling defensively. Carroll getting some awfully high percentage shots, and they look like a good team offensively, and maybe they're going to have to probably get some work. I bet they are working on their defense. But Carroll's getting really high percentage shots right now. Yeah,
14 points in just over 3 minutes. Fantastic for the Fighting Saints to get off to that early start, especially giving them a little cushion as Brendan Temple headed to the bench with the 2 fouls.
Exactly.
So Derek Kramer, we saw him in action in the early going. He's a freshman from Bellevue, and he's really going to be important for them, just not having a lot of post players generally on the roster that have experience beyond Temple.
I know they're really, he's going to be the guy for the next 3 years. They're really high on him. And just the more he plays, the better he's going to get.
So Trevin Richmond gives it over to Sand. Sand facing up and is able to draw the foul on Andrew Cook, much to his chagrin. Recently checking in for Bushnell was number 10, Aaron Von Bruck, a 6'4" sophomore from Coeur d'Alene. He played at North Idaho College and now on the Beacon squad. So at the line, Caden Sand for 2 free throws. Sand connects on the first. Sand has 3 points in the early going here. His second free throw will be on the way. Fighting Saints lead 14-6. And Sand connects, so 4 points early on for Caden Sand. And so the Fighting Saints, Derek Kramer in the lineup for Brendan Temple, who had 6 points and also 2 early fouls. He gets the entry from Braden Cook, swings it to Johnny Hillman. Hillman to the corner. Braden Cook, cross court, ill-advised pass, stolen by Richmond. Richmond up the floor. Alex Angelis checked in. So early on, the Beacons are substituting liberally. A nice crossover move by Richmond gets in the lane, and an
Nice
easy
move.
bucket.
Yeah, that time he split the on-ball screen. Carroll likes to hedge out, almost like a double team. He did a nice job of splitting the double team there, finishing at the rim.
So 14-9, Carroll College in front. Just under 16. We got our first timeout of the game, media timeout. Fighting Saints are 5-2 on the season, ranked number 23 nationally. The next poll will come out next week, and the Fighting Saints will head to Arizona for a slate of games, and then later to California to end the 2022 season. So it's a good road trip, almost a full month, actually over a full month before the Fighting Saints return to the PE Center for a game. Fighting Saints were picked to be one of the top teams in the conference. We know Brendan Temple, the Frontier Conference Player of the Week, sitting on the bench early on for Kurt Paulson. He had 6 points, had a face-up three, and then a nice three-point play, but with 2 fouls. He'll remain on the bench as the Fighting Saints will substitute in with Isaiah Moore, the freshman from Fairfield, California. So Isaiah Moore on the floor with fellow freshmen Derek Kramer and Garrett Long, Johnny Hillman, and Andrew Cook on the floor for the Fighting Saints as they lead 14-9 as we will resume action. Checking in for Bushnell again on the floor, Alexis Angelis, a junior, transferred from Portland State University, seeing his first action of the game. So Garrett Long is defended by Richmond. He gives it to Andrew Cook. Cook gives it back to Long. Long dribbling, gets some hedging on the defense there. Isaiah Moore swings it to the corner. Andrew Cook with a quick baseline, up and under.
That's a beautiful move.
Nice job by Cook, and hustles back on defense to pick up his man as the Fighting Saints lead 16-9. First half action here from the Carroll College PE Center. So a foul on Johnny Hillman, his first of the game.
And once again, that time Bushnell able to split the trap or the high hedge by Carroll defending the on-ball. They're going to have to tighten that up. That's 2 times in a row they've given up a shot, and that time a foul off that same action.
Checking in for Bushnell, number 22, a freshman, Corey Johnson from Anaheim, California. So Angelis drives, gets blocked by Cook, but gets his own rebound and puts it in for the Beacons as they trail by 5, 16-11. Garrett Long takes the pick from Hillman, swings it to Andrew Cook, and then Cook gives it to Hillman. Hillman back to the basket, gets into the paint, keeps his pivot foot. Nice move there by Hillman. He's got that back to the basket game, and he draws a foul.
I have a score out of Lewis Clark State. Carroll women playing LC State women at the end of the third quarter. Carroll 40, LC State 52, so Carroll's going to need to have a big fourth quarter here, come back.
And Lewis Clark State College is ranked as well as Carroll, so yet another matchup for the Saints women and a matchup of ranked teams. They took on Western here at the PE Center last Thursday, picked up a victory, and then won on the road against Northern. They play a very tough non-conference schedule, so their trip to play LC, a former Frontier Conference team, not going so great with a quarter left, and we'll give you a follow-up later on that. So the Fighting Saints lead 18-11. Shot is missed by Von Bruck. Ball goes out of bounds. Possession to the Fighting Saints as they lead by 7, just under 15 minutes to play in the first half. Along with Gary Turcott, I'm Nick Dietzen. Happy to be here with you tonight for one of 2 games of the Comfort Suites Classic from campus of Carroll College. So Garrett Long dribbling, kicks it to the top, Isaiah Moore. Moore over to Cook. Cook gives it to Long. Long drives, shot up, and it's good.
And that's good to see Garrett back to that little middle game. That is his game, and he's had a little rush coming off he broke his finger, Nick, but he's coming back and starting to play like his old self here again.
So the Fighting Saints in front by 9. Bushnell University, the Beacons, Hoffman out at the three-point line. He's a 6'11 player. He fights for post entry, defended by Kramer, and quick hands by Isaiah Moore picks up the steal. So the Saints out in transition. We've seen that all season so far. Isaiah Moore giving them a spark off the bench defensively.
Good defender, very good, especially on-ball stuff.
So Garrett Long will face up, and a hand check foul there on Richmond. So both teams with 4 fouls in the early going, and Kurt Paulson will bring Braden Cook into the game, and returning to the floor for the Beacons, Stevie Schlebach. Schlebach, we mentioned, will be one of the main offensive threats on the floor for Bushnell University. Inbounding the scorer's table is Isaiah Moore. He gets it into Hillman, 19 on the shot clock. Johnny Hillman takes the pick from Derek Kramer. Good entry pass by Hillman to Kramer, and he faces up, and a great connection there by the young freshman.
Just a nice pass by Johnny Hillman, as you said. Going to a freshman, and he made a little left shoulder jump hook. And he has not played a lot with his back to the basket. He's just, as Coach Paulson and his staff are working with him to get him more comfortable down there. That time, that was some nice stuff he showed right there.
And nice touch on the free throw by Derek Kramer. So that's twice that Johnny Hillman has gotten an entry pass into a post, and it's translated to a three-point play. So the Fighting Saints offense in high gear early on, 23-11. They lead Bushnell University, the visitors from Eugene, Oregon. So Alexis Angeles defended by Braden Cook. Braden Cook, again, the standout from Helena Capital and the AA state champion Bruins. He's been a starter here as a freshman. Pretty impressive, true freshman. Schlebach with an entry pass into Corey Johnson. He swings it out to Richmond. 3 on the shot clock. He'll have to hoist and beats the buzzer.
And that wasn't an easy shot. He was drifting hard to his right. That's tough to hit when you make a jump shot when you're moving like laterally that hard.
So a shot clock buzzer beater there for Trevin Richmond as Bushnell trails by 10, 23-13. Fighting Saints in front. Hillman into Jordan Bryant, who recently checked in, and then back to the basket. Derek Kramer off glass. 2 points.
That time he started with that left shoulder jump hook and it had good defense on him. He spun back.
Well, and then in transition come back the Beacons, and it's Trevin Richmond with an easy layup there. So
now the Beacons are offensively, they're a nice little ball club.
25-15, Derek Kramer, the freshman from Bellevue, giving some good minutes off the bench for Coach Paulson. And Isaiah Moore for 3. So the freshman knocks down a big one from the perimeter, as we have seen 4 Saints contribute triples in the early going first half. Fighting Saints lead 28-15. There's a foul call on the floor. Coach Paulson doesn't love it.
I think they got Derek Kramer.
So Caden Sand will check in for Alexis Angeles. Sand with 4 points in the early going, and Coach Paulson will counter with Andrew Cook checking in. So Cook will replace Johnny Hillman for the moment. So we've got Andrew Cook on the floor, Braden Cook, Isaiah Moore, Jordan Bryant, and Derek Kramer. You mentioned who had the 1 foul, but he's provided some good offense for the Fighting Saints in the early going with 5 points. So 16 on the shot clock. Richmond dribble handoff and an offensive foul.
And that's an illegal screen that time, kind of off that dribble screen action by Trevin Richmond. And that isn't often called, but that was the right call.
And Coach Paulson was pumped for that one.
Yeah,
he liked that one. So Andrew Cook facing up, drives the lane, right hand finish. Cook gets the Fighting Saints to 30 points, and they have their largest lead of the evening, 30-15, with 11 minutes, 30 seconds remaining in the first half. So Sand goes to the deck as he's trying to drive. His pass from his backside goes to the Fighting Saints, and out in transition, Andrew Cook attacking again.
That's a great spin move, a super spin move.
So the 32-15 now. The sophomore from Huntington Beach, California, with 2 quick makes off glass driving.
And we know how good he is, and he didn't have his best game up at Northern for whatever reason. Now, some of it was really good defense by Northern, and it's good to see him get going, get his game back. He is just so tough. I don't know how you stay in front of him. He can spin move. He can finish with the other hand. And that was just a beautiful move there.
So 9 minutes of gameplay and 7 Saints on the score sheet.
Yeah.
So really good balance there. Andrew Cook is 3 for 3. The Fighting Saints are really incredibly 12 of 13 right now.
Oh, my goodness.
92%.
And they are getting high percentage shots. They really are. And I can see Bushnell, they got a lot of talent offensively, but their Achilles heel right now is their defense. But that's something you can fix. You can get that better, and I know that they will as the season progresses.
So Carroll with 10 assists, which is incredible for them in the early going on 12 makes. So that just shows that they are really they are on all gears. It's not just been one-on-one play. The ball's moving, open shots. We've seen 2 3-point plays converted by post players. So pretty terrific start for the Fighting Saints here. They will be in action tomorrow night against Corbin University, who picked up a win earlier tonight over MSU Northern, who defeated the Fighting Saints 66-62 last Saturday. And Spencer Hoffman gives it over to Caden Long, who checked in. Now Richmond back into Hoffman, 7 on the shot clock. Brendan Temple has joined the Fighting Saints again. He's got 2 fouls, so he'll have to be judicious with his defense. So Braden Cook initiating the offense, and Caden Sand will pick up a foul there on Andrew Cook as he was trying to apply pressure, and he's pleading his case to the referee. So Sand from Baker City, he's a junior, picks up his 2nd foul. Fighting Saints in front, 32-15. This is their largest lead, 17. And Andrew Cook at the free throw line. Cook is 89% from the free throw line, Coach.
Yeah, he's got a good-looking stroke. Very simple, just a minimum of movement, which is what you want in a free throw.
And he just has a great mid-range game. He's good at dribble drive penetration, and also he's not someone who settles for many three-pointers. So Sand will exit off of the foul, and checking in was Corey Johnson again from Anaheim. Trevin Richmond bringing it up the floor for the Beacons. Gives it to Johnson. Schlebach over to Caden Long, and Spencer Hoffman with the handoff. Corey Johnson face up 3, and he knocks it down.
That time is one of the better times that they've executed their offense that time. Good ball movement, and they got a good look.
They've obviously been going into Hoffman to run a lot of touches through him. He's been really good on the early season for Bushnell, averaging 14 points and 59%. So Andrew Cook will back it into the lane, and he gets the roll.
He's on fire. It's going to be hard to slow him down tonight.
36-17, but coming racing back is Trevin Richmond, and he's been really good, Coach, at pushing the pace off of made baskets.
And Coach Paulson is not happy. You don't want to get beat on the break on a made. And
that's happened twice.
That's happened twice, and that's why Coach Paulson called a timeout. A transition defense, you got to have a better idea what you're doing. You can't let that happen, especially twice and a half. Kurt won't put up with it.
Fighting Saints basketball is presented all season long by Overland Express, serving Helena since 1975. Overland is Helena's family restaurant that features their famous dragon wings. Try them. You'll like them. Overland Express. And by Cap Paving, since 1984, paving the way to excellence. Nick Dietzen along with Gary Turcott from the PE Center. We are halfway through the first half. The Fighting Saints red hot, 36-19 in the early going. The Fighting Saints are still at a 93% clip, 13 for 14. And they have done a good job of passing the ball. We mentioned 10 assists earlier. Bushnell, nothing shabby, 62% from the field. You'd normally like that, but when your opponent's shooting 93%, it doesn't look so good.
That's amazing. Those are amazing stats.
That feels like it could be a record this early on. I mean, this is college basketball to be able to be 93% halfway into a half. Do you remember during your time?
Very few of those.
A great start like that. I mean, you've had a lot of good starts, but 13 for 14 is pretty good.
Yeah.
So the Fighting Saints here, Andrew Cook, 4 for 4 from the field, 10 points. And the only miss was a good look from Braden Cook. So Johnny Hillman drives the lane. Nice bounce pass, but Brendan Temple unable to handle it, so out of bounds. It goes to Bushnell University. The Beacons coming from Eugene. You mentioned, Coach, that it's really great and also a challenge to find teams to make the trip to Helena in the early going. So the Saints are willing to travel often, but it's nice that they have a couple home games.
Oh, it's just great. It really is. And that's a nice bucket there.
Luke Smith,
drove middle, a little middle game action.
Luke Smith is averaging 13 points on the season, so he's been quiet in the early going, but obviously has some scoring prowess for the Beacons. Johnny Hillman over to Garrett Long. Long gets it to Temple, who faces up on Hoffman. He's giving up a couple inches there. Nice pass over to Hillman. Hillman drives the lane, draws contact from Hoffman, and back in transition come the Beacons. Trevin Richmond with a nice pass there. Miss by the Beacons. Offensive rebound, Smith. He's unable to convert, and back come the Fighting Saints. Andrew Cook. Cook faces up. He really initiates offense. Left hand.
Oh, that's a tough shot.
5 for 5.
That's
Andrew
a really
Cook.
tough shot. Now that was, you don't make a shot like that unless you're really feeling it.
And Trevin Richmond with a nice entry pass to Spencer Hoffman. He gets the bucket off glass and draws the foul, so he will head to the line to try to convert. And Trevin Richmond really pushing the pace for the Beacons, especially off of made baskets.
That's their best offense, is off of made. They really get the ball up they get it out of the net, they get it inbounded quickly, and they just push it. And that's been the best thing that they've done offensively.
So the Beacons trail by 15. Hoffman at the line trying to get a three-point play. The Fighting Saints have 2 3-point plays. That one rattles out as the Fighting Saints lead by 15. Checking into the game was Colton Martin, a 6'6" junior from Flower Mound, Texas. He's defending Cook. Coach Eddie Alexander in his 5th year is trying a lot of different defenders right now on Andrew Cook, and Johnny Hillman will miss from 3, only the second miss for Carroll College. Now 8 minutes remaining, and Trevin Richmond with a nice feed into the aforementioned Martin, who looked like it might have been a block, but a foul is
He must
called.
have got him with the body, but it was he was all ball up on top.
And again, that was Richmond, who's been real active in transition, both scoring and distributing.
And let's be honest, Bushnell's a good transition team.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
So Martin connects on the first one, and Isaiah Moore will check in for Johnny Hillman, give the senior from Post Falls a breather. Fighting Saints with 3 freshmen on the floor right now. Derek Kramer back in action for Temple. So 2 for 2 from the free throw line from Colton Martin, who had just checked in. Braden Cook, Andrew Cook, Garrett Long, and then the other freshmen, Derek Kramer and Isaiah Moore on the floor for the Fighting Saints as they lead by 13 with just under 8 minutes. So there's a turnover. Stolen, and here comes Richmond. He gets it up to Schlabach, defended by Moore. Schlabach, one dribble with the left hand, kicks it to Richmond. Richmond with a nice entry pass to Hoffman, and cheap foul there. Derek Kramer, his second.
He had a little hold he called on that time on Derek.
So now 2 post players for the Fighting Saints, each with 2 fouls. We have Derek Kramer and Brendan Temple, each with 2. Temple's on the bench right now. 38-25. Fighting Saints in front on a torrid pace offensively. They only have 2 misses, so Hoffman will connect on the free throw there. They cut the lead to 12. The lead was as much as 17 in the first half so far, and so the second shot is no good by Hoffman. 38-26, Spencer Hoffman averaging 14 points and 8 rebounds for the Beacons. So Braden Cook swings it out to Johnny Hillman. Hillman back in, drives the lane, dumps it off to Derek Kramer. No good, but he's able to follow it and get the putback.
It was a nice pass by Johnny Hillman, though. Off a shot fake, drive middle, and found Derek Taylor kind of in the alley. Oh,
Nice drive by Richmond, but swatted away by Garrett Long, and now the ball comes out to Luke Smith, and he drives, and he's defended by Braden Cook. Nice job by Cook not fouling there.
good contest by Braden Cook.
Good defensive possession by the Fighting Saints. Isaiah Moore back in transition. Gives it to Hillman. Hillman will spin in the lane. Fakes it. Jump hook. No good. Rebound Hoffman, the 6'11 junior. He'll get it up to Richmond, and Richmond will look to push the pace. He'll actually back it out for the first time. Trevin Richmond gets the pass to the interior. Colton Martin, top of the key. Luke Smith, feet planted. Good look there. No good. Tries to chase down the rebound, but a nice job by Derek Kramer getting on the floor and maintaining possession for the Fighting Saints.
How many fouls does Derek have? Do we know?
2.
2 fouls?
2 for him, 2
And
for Temple.
2 for Temple, yeah.
And the Fighting Saints lead with 6 minutes is 14. Braden Cook facing up. One dribble, jump, no good. Rebound by Garrett Long. Long saves it to Isaiah Moore. So nice hustle by Garrett Long.
Well, that's what he gives you. He gives you those hustle plays.
Johnny Hillman picks up his dribble, gives it to Braden Cook. Braden Cook takes it to the rack and gets a nice layup there, Braden Cook. So Cook is just so calm.
He is.
He's got a very patient for a freshman. He hasn't been connecting from 3 to the percentage that he would like, but does a nice job of attacking there. And then Schlabach with a miss.
Schlabach hasn't been able to get going, and some of that's Johnny Hillman.
Fighting Saints lead 42-26. And Garrett Long will drive the lane. Shot no good. Rebound Hoffman. Luke Smith will bring it up. Smith over to Richmond. Richmond from deep 3. No good. Rebound Schlabach. So Schlabach to Luke Smith. Smith to Martin. Colton Martin back out to Schlabach. And now from the corner, Luke Smith. Good look. No good.
They're
Rebound,
getting some
Braden
good looks.
Cook.
They're just not making them. But those are pretty good looks they're getting.
So Braden Cook does a nice job of dropping it off to Johnny Hillman, and he connects on 3. Great job by Cook creating some space off the pass there. So 45-26, now the largest lead of the game, 19. Schlabach, defended by Moore, gets an entry pass into Hoffman, and the foul there looks to go to Johnny Hillman, who came crashing in to give some help defense. That will be a 3rd foul on Johnny Hillman, Coach.
And that's, yeah, it's hard. He might have grabbed him by the arm. It looked like awful good help defense from here.
And substituting in for the Beacons, we will see Alexis Angeles again, and then Isaac Gurley, who's the lone senior on Bushnell, so a pretty young team for Eddie Alexander.
Nick, we do have a final from Lewiston, Idaho. Carroll women dropping a contest in Lewistown 62-50. Tough loss for Carroll. That's a real difficult place to play. They don't lose very many at home. And Carroll lost tonight 62-50.
So Coach Sayers' battle-tested group is playing a lot of ranked teams in the early going.
Exactly.
This will be helpful for them as they have tournament aspirations, and in the early season with some new players being incorporated like Kendall Keller. It's a tough loss for them, but they play a lot of tough games, so they're going to win some, they're going to lose some, but overall it really gives that team a lot of experience so that when the tournament comes around, they know what it's like.
Exactly.
So checking in for the Fighting Saints, we have Jordan Bryant on the floor. Nice spin move. Isaiah Moore from the elbow knocks it down. And then Marat Guzalocek on the floor, too, for the Fighting Saints, seeing his first action of the game. 47-28, Fighting Saints in front with just over 4 minutes to play. And a real nice job by Isaiah Moore there.
Yeah, he doesn't look like a freshman the way he plays. He just does things defensively, especially that you'd expect him to be a junior or a senior, and like to see his offensive game get picked up. That's a couple of nice little buckets he's got this first half.
So Caden Sand at the line. Sand's shot rattles out on the first one. Second free throw on the way for Sand, and this one will be a swish. And the Beacons now with 29, trail by 18. Alexis Angeles will apply some pressure in the backcourt as the true freshman Braden Cook brings it up and beats Angeles past half court. Marat Guzalocek hands it off to Garrett Long, who gets into the lane, and Long will be charged with the offensive foul as he drove in and put it to Caden Sand there.
And it was a good call. It was definitely a nice charge that Caden Sand took it right in the chest, and he got punished.
So 10 fouls now for the Fighting Saints for the last 4 minutes here. Garrett Kramer checking in for Guzalocek. That was the first foul on Garrett Long. 47-29, just under 4 minutes to play from the Carroll College PE Center, where the Fighting Saints are undefeated on the season, 3-0. Nice ball movement. They find their number one shooter and knocking it down, Stevie Schlebach.
And that's, he just has been pretty quiet this half. We know what kind of shooter he is.
Absolutely. So a nice shot there.
Having Johnny Hillman guard you is not a lot of fun.
And then Isaiah Moore now, Coach, so it doesn't get a whole lot easier, but he did find some open space there, good ball rotation. So shot goes up, no good. Fighting Saints in front by 15 right now, and aggressive offense there by the senior Isaac Gurley from Los Angeles. He played high school at Culver City High School.
And one of the Carroll players is down.
That's Garrett Long.
Garrett Long, he has one speed, and that's full speed. He just plays as hard as a basketball player can physically play.
So Jordan Bryant is back on the floor. Bryant, a 6'6" junior from Carmichael, California. And then Murat Guzalocek from Istanbul, Turkey. He is back on the floor in the post. So Braden Cook gives it to Andrew Cook, the Cook and Cook show. Braden Cook flares to the corner. Open three, knocks it down. Fighting Saints get to 50 with 3 minutes in the first half.
Andrew Cook gets an assist to Braden Cook. Ooh.
And there's the quick trigger from Stevie Schlebach.
They are the most dangerous. After you score, that's when they are going to just bust it down and get a shot before you can get set up. It is really quick.
So Bushnell University trails by 16, and Jordan Bryant gets in on the party with a three-pointer
and
from
that's
deep.
Good to see. I'd like to see Jordan getting some time. Like, there they go again.
And Alexis Angeles with a nice drive, and the ball spins out there. One problem for Bushnell is that off of all those makes, it's hard to come back when you're giving up buckets. Andrew Cook drives the baseline there, kicks it out to Long.
Carroll's on pace to score over 100 points, Nick.
That's right. And for some places, that would be free Taco Bell. So a nice drive of the lane and a flush from Andrew Cook. So Cook off to a fantastic first half. We mentioned that he had a good start at Northern and then really just didn't get a lot of opportunities in that second half, and it really hurt the Fighting Saints as they dropped a Frontier Conference game. So Gurley, the lone senior for Coach Eddie Alexander, with a nice move in the lane there, finishes with the left hand.
Got a little step-through move. He drove hard right and stepped through back the other way. Got Braden Cook off his feet.
55-36 with a minute and a half remaining in the first half from the PE Center. Fighting Saints 5-2 on the early season, looking to pick up a sixth victory against Bushnell University out of Eugene, Oregon. Give and go. Guzalocek to Jordan Bryant, defended 8 on the shot clock. Andrew Cook from 3, no good. Rebound goes to Hoffman. Hoffman's done a nice job clearing out, getting defensive rebounds. Hoffman, he will fake the handoff, gets it to Schlebach. Puts up, and there we go.
Yeah.
He's starting to heat up.
Yeah, we know what kind of shooter he is.
55% from the field and 56 from 3. Those are incredible numbers for the junior, as the lead is 16 for the Fighting Saints with just under a minute in the first half here, as you mentioned. 55 right now for the Saints. A nice pass. Guzalocek will try to swing it out. It gets tipped by Angeles. And we will see, checking in for the Fighting Saints, the first action of the evening, Landon Humphrey, a 6'5" sophomore out of Clovis, California. He'll check in for the Fighting Saints along with Isaiah Moore for the last 42 seconds for Coach Kurt Paulson, and Humphrey will inbound it to Braden Cook. Braden Cook, defended by Angeles, 6 on the shot clock. Andrew Cook will have to get a shot up here, but he's called for carrying. So a turnover there. A rarely called carry.
It is rarely called. It probably should be called more, but that was a correct call.
There was not a lot of time on the shot clock coming out of the inbound there, so Cook was making up his mind and maybe too much thinking there. So the Fighting Saints lead by 16 in the first half. Offensive explosion, 55 points. And we've got the last shot. It looks like there's 4 seconds shot clock to game clock. And now they will run the offense. Trevin Richmond, 9 on the clock.
And they got Murat with a push down there on the block.
Uzalocek, who's a 6'7 junior, giving up 4 inches to Hoffman.
And as you said, Carroll with, I think that's 11th or 12th foul, so it's a double bonus.
So Hoffman, who's been to the line several times in the first half, looking to connect on both free throws for the first time tonight. First one is up and good. And we'll see a couple substitution for Eddie Alexander. Aaron Von Bruck from Coeur d'Alene checking in. Also joined by Isaac Gurley, the senior from Los Angeles, California. So second free throw on the way for Hoffman, averaging 14, and he'll knock down 2 for the first time tonight. And there's 12 seconds on the clock. We'll see what the Fighting Saints have in store for the final possession of the first half here at the Comfort Suites Classic. Braden Cook facing up, rises, 3-ball, and it's good. What a way to end the first half for the Carroll College Fighting Saints as they lead 57-41. We'll be back with the halftime show. We'll update you on first half stats as well as discuss tomorrow's game and a little bit about the women's contest as well. Back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Fighting Saints basketball.
Well, they had to be shooting a pretty high percentage, didn't they?
Well, at one time we were like 12 for 13.
Carroll College Fighting Saints basketball presented by Furniture Showroom. Why pay more? Every day is a great day to buy a new home furnishings at Furniture Showroom. And by Gold Island Casino. Play and stay where the winners go at Gold Island Casino, next to the Dollar Store on North Montana. First half action from the Carroll College PE Center. The Fighting Saints with 57 points in the first half. They lead by 16 over the visiting Bushnell University Beacons. They come from Eugene, Oregon, and the Cascade Conference. The Fighting Saints were led by Andrew Cook, who had 14 points. He was 6 for 7 from the field. Also in double figures, the true freshman Braden Cook, who had 11 points. Derek Kramer, who gave Coach Kurt Paulson some nice minutes off the bench, had 7, as did Johnny Hillman. Brendan Temple had 6 early points, but was saddled with 2 fouls early on, so he was on the bench there. For Bushnell University, he was a little bit quiet early on, but then Stevie Schlabach found his rhythm, and he had 10 points to lead the way for the Beacons. Trevin Richmond, 8 points, and also 8 points from Spencer Hoffman. Hoffman did most of his damage from the free throw line, going 6 for 9. He also had 5 rebounds. Carroll, on the other end, had 5 rebounds from Derek Kramer, the freshman. He led the way for the Fighting Saints on the glass, giving the replacement minutes from Brendan Temple. 8 players for the Fighting Saints notched points in the first half as they put up 57. A look at the team stats. The Fighting Saints started off 13 for 14. They cooled off, but not much, 69% for the first half. And then they made 8 for 11 from 3, Coach Turcotte.
That's really good shooting. And to be honest with you, Bushnell, their Achilles heel is their defense. There's nothing wrong with their offense. They're 14 for 27 is good shooting against Carroll. Carroll's a very good defensive team, but defensively, Carroll's got 57 points. If you double that up, that's an awful lot of points to score in a ball game. So a lot of kids playing well for Carroll. Carroll with 5 turnovers. That's been a bit of a problem. They've been turning the ball over. And, you want to be under 10 for a ball game. So Carroll's on pace to do that, to keep it under 10. I know that was a real concern for Kurt, the way they played up at Northern. They did have too many turnovers. Playing Johnny Temple at the 2 and the 3 instead of the point. He's been playing the point, but he looks more effective at the 2 and the 3. And he's also a really good defensive player and a rebounder. So I like that. Andrew Cook with a great half. Brandon Cook looking comfortable at the point. And I like the fact that he's taking shots. What's he taken?
4 for 6.
4 for 6, yeah. He needs to take 12 shots a game. He's that good. He really is. And he's just a freshman, but he is that kind of good. And I like to see it.
High praise the true freshman. And they, as you mentioned earlier in the broadcast, the Fighting Saints are replacing a lot of scoring from Shamrock.
And Ifani.
Yeah. So
yeah, Ifani. Ifani was an first-team All-American, and he was a guaranteed double-double. Sometimes a double-triple, but he was a double-double. He averaged that over his career. I mean, he was just an amazing offensive player, and you just kind of wonder where were the points going to come from with him gone. And they look to me like, they're starting to settle in at their positions and in their flow. They look a lot more comfortable.
One thing that I can say from experience that a lot of times at this level, the notating of assists cannot always be to the pleasure of the coaching staff, but the Carroll students doing a fantastic job of acknowledging those assists, and they had 16 assists on made baskets, and 6 assists came from Johnny Hillman. He had some foul trouble, but then 5 assists from Andrew Cook, so a really good job of keeping the ball moving, getting open shots. That helps to get you to 69%.
Most of those assists, Nick, are coming off dribble penetration, drawing to and finding the open man. And Johnny Hillman did a great job of that, and so did Andrew Cook, both of them getting their assists that way. And with neither one of them having to worry about being the point, they can do that. And I think it's moving Braden Cook to the point might have been the smartest thing that Kurt's done all year. We'll have to see. Tomorrow night they'll really get a test at that when they play Corbin. Corbin was a really good man defensive team. They pick up full court, they pressure, and that'll be a little better test on him tomorrow night than he's getting tonight. But so far tonight he looks really good.
I mean, it's been an incredible first half to score 57 points. The only thing you can maybe look at is foul trouble for 3 fouls, Johnny Hillman, 3 for Derek Kramer, and 2 for Brendan Temple. Temple didn't play much overall. He had a 3 early on and then a 3-point play, and he picked up those 2 early fouls. I mean, Spencer Hoffman is a 6'11", 240, and he carves out a lot of space, so it's not surprising he was the one drawing those fouls with 9 free throw attempts for Hoffman. So
and
that'll be something I'll pay attention.
Derek Kramer did a nice job coming in as a freshman, guarding him and picking up the slack, because that was a little scary, I thought, when Brandon Temple got into foul trouble that quickly and had to leave, because Carroll runs their offense through their post player. I mean, they really do. He gets touches and he makes everybody better. But you can see that Derek Kramer, he's got some pretty good skills.
Right, absolutely. And then the Fighting Saints, they come in ranked top 25 club for Coach Kurt Paulson. They are 3-0 on the season at home, and as we mentioned, the Fighting Saints will be on the road for over a month with trips to Arizona and California. Then they'll be resuming Frontier Conference action after they played 2 games last week. They will have 2 on the road with Montana Tech, and then a trip to Rocky after the new year before we see them back in action January 11th at the PE Center. And
what a conference it's going to be. The opening weekend, everyone's split. Everyone.
Yes.
Everybody's 1-1.
There
So-
was a double overtime game between
Yeah.
Providence and MSU Northern, so just showing us early on that it's going to be competitive, and seeing 57 points from the Fighting Saints in the first half, that definitely has to make confidence from a lot of – you don't get to 57 without making some shots, and they did that with 8 different players scoring.
They're cooking. And Andrew
Absolutely.
Cook is the one that's cooking the most.
That's right. So Cook and Hillman lead the team on the season with 15.3 points per game each. Cook almost there with 14 on 6 of 7 shooting. He had his lone miss was from 3-point range.
The Cooks have got 25 points between them. Andrew and Braden.
Absolutely. Really strong start, and that's going to be something that all year they're going to need both of them to contribute.
They are.
Yeah. We saw at Northern that the ball found Cook, Braden Cook, that is, at the end of the game. So they have a lot of confidence running plays for him. As a freshman, true freshman, there's a lot of good perimeter players on this team, but they're going to need both of them.
Just a little bit, Nick, about Braden Cook. So he was Gatorade Player of the Year, MVP of the state tournament, first team All-State. I think he was Offensive Player of the Year. And he suffered mononucleosis. He had a bad dose of that. And I don't think he ever felt 100% the entire year. And looking at him now, he's put on, 10 pounds of muscle. He looks like a different kid. He missed the first 4 games of the year this year, and now he's starting to get into his groove. And I don't think we have any idea just how good he's going to be. I mean, he is really, really going to be good.
He's very composed.
Yeah.
He likes to do, work from the corners there. He's got a nice pull-up jumper.
Yeah.
He's always just in balance on his shot, not a lot of herky-jerky motions. He's just very composed offensively for any age, but all the more impressive as a true freshman.
Yep.
Braden Cook. And then adds another dimension because they've got Temple with a great back-to-the-basket, low-post game versatility from him. He's obviously a strong shooter, as exhibited with the 3 early. And then you've got Hillman, who likes to drive and a little back to the basket. But having those players to kick out, as you mentioned, those assists coming on open looks, Braden Cook's one of those guys they're going to need.
He's the one. And you kick it out to him, and he lets it fly. That's a 50% chance it's going in, maybe more. Yeah.
Garrett Long, of course, a good shooter, an aggressive player, but he's working his way back in.
Garrett is more of a scorer. He finds ways to score with hustle plays and middle game and just all-out effort. He's a guy that's going to get you 10 points a game. If he plays 25 minutes, he's going to get you 10, 12 points a game just on hustle and what he does. And he hit a nice little 3 out there early in the ball game. So he's starting to work his way back in after suffering that injury to a little broken bone in his shooting hand, which is tough to recover from. Yeah.
We mentioned the 8 Fighting Saints players made baskets in the first half, 6 of which were threes. So 6 different players knocking them down from beyond the arc as the Fighting Saints lead 57-41. We got 3 minutes before we'll resume second half play from the Carroll College PE Center. Fighting Saints in front, looking for their 6th win of the season and 4th at home. Bushnell University, their leading scorer on the season, Stevie Schlabach, has 10 points. He was a little quiet, and it didn't take him long to heat up.
No.
Schlabach, 4 for 7 from the field, also 4 for 7 was Trevin Richmond.
And just a note to our listeners, Corbin College, who Carroll plays tomorrow night, beat Northern, by 8 tonight, and Northern is good. Northern beat Carroll last week in the Frontier Conference game, and this Corbin team was very impressive.
They were up by 15 for much of the fourth quarter before MSU went on a little bit of a run to close the gap there. So they were really in control, and that's going to prove to be a really challenging matchup. Obviously, right now things are going swimmingly well for the Fighting Saints as they lead by 16 off of that 69% shooting performance in the first half. We obviously have the second half in front of us. Nothing is guaranteed, but we encourage you to come back tomorrow night to watch and listen to the Fighting Saints as they will compete against Corbin University, also from Oregon. So 2 Oregon schools making the trip to play in the Comfort Suites Classic. The Fighting Saints again had 3 fouls on Johnny Hillman, the senior from Post Falls, and Garrett Kramer had 3 fouls as well. Brendan Temple will start that second half. He had 2, so didn't get a lot of time. So all the more impressive that they put up 57 points with Brendan Temple really not seeing a lot of floor time.
It is.
For Coach Paulson.
Exactly. Well, we're about a minute away from the start of the second half, and we always talk about the first 3 minutes of the second half, Nick, where it kind of tells you a lot about how that second half's going to go. And Carroll with a 15-point lead, they don't want to come out flat. You want to come out like it's 0-0, win that first 3 minutes, and usually the second half takes care of itself when you do that.
Along with Gary Turcotte, I'm Nick Deaton. We'll be all season long for Fighting Saints action from the Carroll College PE Center. And listen on the radio for Frontier Conference matchups on Rewind 94.9 FM and online kcap.com. We're excited to be with you for 15 Frontier Conference games in total for the men's and women's teams each, as they will play Thursday and Saturday matchups throughout the February and January, excuse me. I'm thinking freshman and sophomore right now. I'm not ready for 2023 yet. We got a lot of 2022 left.
Yeah. Carroll had a JV team this year, and they had a real nice year. Taylor Edwards coached that JV team, and I know today they played North Idaho, and that'd be the varsity of North Idaho, not their JV team.
Sure.
North Idaho plays in a good league. They have a lot of good players, and they thumped them, the JV team of Carroll. So that's congratulations to Taylor Edwards and her team that she brought down there. That's a real significant win.
Fantastic job by Taylor, the assistant coach for Rochelle Sayers, getting those players really competitive action. As you mentioned, North Idaho is a proving ground for a lot of players who make it to the Frontier Conference and elsewhere, as we pick up second half action from the PE Center. And the Beacons will start it off with Spencer Hoffman going strong into the paint. The big man draws a foul. He already has 9 free throw attempts. The bucket for him, he'll try to get a 3-point play.
Nice post move. He was very patient, started middle, looked like he was going to shoot that jump hook, spun back, and finished with his left hand, drew the foul.
So 2 fouls now for Garrett Long. And the 3-point play is converted on by Hoffman as they start off. You mentioned the first 3 minutes are important for the second half. Fighting Saints in front by 13. They led by 16 and a half and scored 57 points. Johnny Hillman goes to work in the post, drops it off to Brendan Temple.
That's that dribble penetration, draw 2, find the open guy, back cut by Brendan Temple. Well done.
Brendan Temple, the Frontier Conference Player of the Week last week, off of 2 double-doubles in the first 2 Frontier Conference games. Offensive rebound by Hoffman. He goes up strong, gets his own rebound, ducks under and off glass. The big man going to work. So 13-point lead for the Fighting Saints. 19 minutes left in the second half from the Carroll College PE Center. Fighting Saints ranked number 23 nationally. Andrew Cook off of a big first half had 14 points. Now Johnny Hillman back in the post. He gives it off to Garrett Long, who will attack on offense. Shot no good. Rebound Hoffman. Hoffman gets it up floor to Trevin Richmond. Richmond was pushing the pace in the first half. He gets it to Stevie Schlebach, the leading scorer. And now Hoffman will fire away from deep 3-pointer.
Boy, he's feeling it.
And Coach Paulson is not loving the start to this half, as the big man showing a little bit of outside ability that we didn't know.
I think that's 8 points he scored.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right.
3-point play and a bucket off glass.
A minute and a half, he just scored 8 points. Good timeout by Coach Paulson.
I was surprised to see him pull the trigger from 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so-
it was one of those shots, I don't know how you describe it, but it wasn't a textbook set shot. He gets it way behind his head and kind of his elbows flying around, but he splashed it.
Yeah, consistent as his free throw stroke with that kind of, starting from way back.
Yeah.
But something that a shorter player wouldn't be able to get away with, but when you're 6'11", you don't get blocked a lot no matter where you're bringing the ball from.
Exactly, yeah.
So Hoffman with 8 points in the early going in this second half here. He's got the Beacons on a nice run here as they've cut the deficit from 16 to 10. And Hoffman, who had 8 points in the first half, now has 16 for the game. He's the game's leading scorer with that strong performance coming out of halftime.
I'm just looking at him. Is he a transfer? Where did he go to high school? He went to Eugene, Oregon, Churchill High School. So, yeah, they got him out of high school.
It said Colorado Christian University, so he may have spent some time there at Colorado Christian.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
But he's familiar to the Eugene
area. Right. Yeah. Churchill High School.
The Beacons. He's one of a couple players from Churchill, also Ty Weiskind, freshman, who has not seen action yet. For Coach Eddie Alexander in his 5th year. Alexander has traveling Alexanders as Joe and Jordan, also in their 5th years, assisting, and Alex Davis. So the Fighting Saints coming out of the timeout that Coach Paulson didn't like that. We'll see Johnny Hillman attack the lane, and he's rejected by Hoffman. Ball comes back out to the Fighting Saints. Braden Cook on the perimeter, catch and shoot. Shot no good, offensive rebound. Brendan Temple kicks it out to Andrew Cook, who had 14 points. He loses his footing, gets it out to Johnny Hillman with 15 seconds on the shot clock. Hillman takes a pick from Brendan Temple. Out, an open Isaiah Moore, and Moore connects his second three.
And that's another dribble penetration by Johnny Hillman, and drawing two and finding the open man.
So Isaiah Moore, who checked in now, gets a steal, and he will be a one-man transition with a behind the back, and he attacks the lane, gets a shot up off of Caden Sand. So we saw the Spencer Hoffman show, and now it's the Isaiah Moore show.
When this thing is done, Johnny Hillman's going to have double figures assists. What do you have, 6 at halftime?
Correct.
And he's already got at least 1, maybe 2 this half.
You got it. Yes, Johnny Hillman, 7 points, 8 assists.
Yeah, 8 assists already, yep.
So Isaiah Moore does not connect on that free throw attempt. He had a 3 from the corner and then also got a steal. Now he will attempt his second free throw here with just under 18 minutes in that game. And Moore connects, 1 for 2 at the line. Fighting Saints in front, 63-49. Along with Gary Turcotte, I'm Nick Dietzen from the Carroll College PE Center. Fighting Saints, 5-2 on the season, and Spencer Hoffman gets a shot up, no good. Rebound, Fighting Saints. Andrew Cook in transition with a nice give to Johnny Hillman, no good. Offensive rebound, Isaiah Moore.
And
Isaiah Moore.
Here they come with their transition off of Maids, and Carroll that time able to get back.
Angeles with the entry pass to Hoffman, he was able to get it.
And they got to stop on that. That early offense is so effective for Bushnell.
Nice look by Richmond, unable to connect, and it's Andrew Cook making a transition of his own. Cook gets into the lane with a nice pull-up shot and a 30-second timeout.
It's back up to 18.
Eddie Alexander, just like that, 18. They cut it to 10.
Yeah.
And then Isaiah Moore went to work.
Yeah.
And then Andrew Cook gets his 16 points, 7 for 8.
Well, when you run on Maids, like in other words, you're playing defense and the team scores on you and you rush it out, you can get some high-quality shots, but you also open yourself up to an opportunity for them to go on a run because they score on you, you hustle down, you don't score, they come back to score on you. That's just what happened in that sequence right there, and Carroll went on an 8-point run.
Fighting Saints, though, they could be threatening 100 tonight. It's been pretty excellent on the offensive front as they shot 69% in that first half. started the game 13 for 14. So Trevin Richmond will bring the ball up the floor for the Beacons out of Eugene, Oregon. He gives it to Schlabach. Schlabach gives it to Smith. Luke Smith, averaging 13, has been quiet. Alexis Angeles dribbling, defended by Cook. He finds Luke Smith for an open three, and Smith connects. So Luke Smith, averaging 13 on the season, as mentioned, now with 5 points, his second make of the game. Braden Cook initiating the offense for the Fighting Saints. A little bit of a change for attack with Kurt Paulson's team. Andrew Cook goes to work with a nice spin move, unable to connect, and a very common deal, try to follow up a miss and get the offensive foul.
Yeah, and that's just 2 on Andrew.
With all of your coaching history, that's just something that provides too much. Is you get a good move, you miss it, and then you try hard to get the rebound and get a foul.
Yeah, especially you can't jump over a guy's back. That's not going to work. The officials aren't going to miss that one.
So Johnny Hillman enters it into Cook, and then we'll go back. Johnny Hillman will bring it up the floor. The 6'2" senior from Post Falls, Idaho. He'll take a screen from Brendan Temple, and then a nice pass again, Isaiah Moore. So another assist for Johnny Hillman. He's
up to 9.
Doing a great job. Like you mentioned, I think he might be a 10 before we have our next break. So Spencer Hoffman, handoff, deep shot there, and gets a lucky bounce there by Luke Smith as he gets his second consecutive triple.
Speaking of feeling it, they're going to have to get on him.
8 points for Luke Smith now with 2 threes in the second half. Johnny Hillman bringing it up. Temple swinging around the perimeter. Andrew Cook to Braden Cook. Johnny Hillman defended by Alexis Angeles. Now we got Cook going to work. Andrew Cook back to the basket. Left-hand dribble.
Oh, he must have hooked him. They got an offensive foul on Andrew Cook there, and they must have called a hook.
And he can't believe it. Andrew Cook will have to head to the bench now with 2 offensive fouls on consecutive possessions. So both Cooks will head to the bench, and we will see Jordan Bryant and then Garrett Long checking in. So Jordan Bryant, Isaiah Moore, Garrett Long, Johnny Hillman, 4 guards, joined with Brendan Temple. Temple has his hands full as he's defending.
Brandon Temple with a steal.
Hoffman. So Temple in transition will get to the basket, and he draws a foul on Hoffman. Hoffman is pleading his case as he picked up the foul. Nice job being aggressive, going into the bigger player.
I think we might see Brandon go to work here a little bit. Right, in this period of the game, he hasn't had a ton of touches.
Sat out much of the first half.
Yeah, as he got in foul trouble. Right.
So that foul actually will be attributed to Alexis Angeles. That's his second. 70-55, 15 minutes remaining in the game. Carroll College in front. Second free throw on the way to Brendan Temple. So Temple knocks him down. The Frontier Conference Player of the Week last week, averaging 20 points and 12 rebounds. He had 2 double-doubles in the first 2 Frontier Conference games. So it's Richmond driving in, gives it off to Isaac Gurley, the only senior on Eddie Alexander's team. Kickball goes out of bounds. 20 seconds then on the shot clock as Schlabach will inbound it. Stevie Schlabach, who got going after a quiet start. Great defense there. Gets a little overly exuberant as Johnny Hillman. Maybe the only thing that could keep him from 10 assists will be fouls, because that
is his 4th foul. Ooh, that's Johnny's got to be a little smarter than that. If you got 3, you can't be swiping at the ball like that.
We've seen him picking up fouls, but Coach Paulson has let him remain in the game in the action we have seen. So a travel call on Isaac Gurley. We talked after the game by Kurt Paulson mentioning that he likes to gamble a little bit and trusts a player like Johnny Hillman.
Well, Johnny's a senior.
Garrett Long picks up his dribble, sends it out to Andrew Cook, back to Long, Long to Brendan Temple in the corner. Face up, spin move, now back to the basket. Temple with the left hand gets swatted by Hoffman, and in transition come the Beacons. Luke Smith dribbling with Isaiah Moore defending. Quick spin move in the lane. Spencer Hoffman picks up another foul.
And that's 5 team fouls on Carroll, which is, you don't want to get 5 team fouls with 6 minutes already, just only 6 minutes gone. You know, you're going to put him in the bonus here in 2 more fouls.
So Hoffman has been a regular at the free throw line tonight.
He draws them.
He does. Big physical player, 6'11".
Yeah, and he's got some spins and yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't waste much time getting into his moves in the post.
Yeah.
So now he's starting to find a little bit of rhythm from the free throw line as he's connected on his last 4. Hoffman has 10 points in the second half, and we're only 6 minutes in. So 71-57, Saints in front by 14. They've led it by as much as 19. Andrew Cook re-entered the game. He has 3 fouls, checked in for Johnny Hillman. Jordan Bryant, Isaiah Moore, 2 California players on the floor for the Fighting Saints. And a nice screen set by Temple. Long draws the foul. Foul's on Isaac Gurley.
And Long's disappointed himself he didn't finish that. He knows he's capable of finishing it. It's a good take, though, a good hard take.
So we'll have a media timeout, stoppage on the floor with under 14 minutes. Fighting Saints in front by 14. Carroll College was on fire with 69% field goal shooting in the first half. They connected on 13 of their first 14 attempts, and now they are still at 63% from the field, which is fantastic. Bushnell at 53%, very respectable. Fighting Saints are 8 of 11 from 3. Terrific job by them. 18-16, rebounds are pretty similar there. Fighting Saints with the advantage. The turnovers have kind of cooled a little bit. The Saints only have 6, which is good. As you mentioned, they'll try to keep it under 10, but we got a lot of game left. Individually, Spencer Hoffman is the leading scorer of the game right now with 18 points. He's connected on 9 of 12 from the line.
Yeah.
8 rebounds for the big man. We haven't seen Schlebach attempt a shot here in the second half.
And Hoffman is, you know, he's been the driving force of this second half for Bushnell. And Temple has had to come out with foul trouble. So Taylor now got to guard the big guy that's on fire. This is a big test for him, for Kramer right now.
4 Fighting Saints players in double figures. Andrew Cook had 16 right now. Braden Cook had 10. Brendan Temple 10. And then Isaiah Moore, the freshman, with 13.
Wow. Really, that's a quiet 13.
He had 2 threes. He drew that foul.
And he's had some garbage points where he comes in and, picks up some offensive rebounds. Yeah.
So Garrett Long at the line from Wenatchee, Washington. Second free throw is good. 2 for 2. 73-57, under 14 minutes from the Carroll P Center. Listen to Fighting Saints basketball. We'll be with you all season long. Nick Dietz along with Gary Turcott. And Stevie Schlebach with the ball, defended by Isaiah Moore, who's really provided some fantastic on-ball defense as well as transition defense. And now, who comes up with it? Isaiah Moore after Derek Kramer causes the turnover. And a nice pass from Andrew Cook. Stuffed Jordan Bryant with the dunk. So 2 dunks for Carroll College here. Second half action, 75-57, Fighting Saints in front by 18. So despite Spencer Hoffman's offensive prowess in the second half, the Saints do lead by 18. Luke Smith dribbling, charging, no good. Rebound comes out to Andrew Cook. Cook taking the ball up the floor, pushes it, and Jordan Bryant with the
That's
layup.
2 assists in a row for Andrew. Just real heads-up, tough play. He might end up with 10 assists before it's said and done.
So Bryant with both a dunk and a nice layup there, and the Fighting Saints are in front by 20. 77-57 with just under 13 minutes, and going to the bench will be Hoffman. He provided a great offensive spark. He needs a breather. They're going to bring in a host of reserves. Corey Johnson, joined by Colton Martin. I'm kind of surprised Colton Martin didn't see more action coming out of it. He provided some good offense for them, number 33. So open shot by Corey Johnson, and the freshman, he's knocked down 2 threes.
Oh, you can see that's his shot. That's a pure shot. And that's a long ways, and he had to shoot it over 6'9" Kramer.
So Corey Johnson out of Anaheim knocks that one down. Fighting Saints in front by 17. Derek Kramer, 3 fouls on the floor. He came in for Temple. Garrett Long, Isaiah Moore, Jordan Bryant, Andrew Cook on the floor. Isaiah Moore
what a shot.
drives the lane and no good. It hung on the rim breathlessly. Up in transition, Richmond to Schlabach. Schlabach's miss and then tipped around. Ball comes out to Andrew Cook, who's really been initiating offense. Cook with the
what a shot.
Up and under.
What
Andrew
a shot. Oh, he is so much fun to watch in transition. We've got a tee on Coach Paulson, I think.
So Andrew Cook in transition really been pushing the basketball. He was aggressive. Coach Paulson thought he should have gotten a 3-point play on that one.
Yeah.
And he'll get teed up, and going to the line for the shot will be Stevie Schlabach. He knocks that one down. First technical free throw is good. 12 minutes remaining in the second half from the Carroll College PE Center. 79-61, Fighting Saints in front. Technical foul shots by Stevie Schlabach. He gets 1 out of 2.
It'll be interesting tomorrow night watching if they're going. You know, we watched the Northern coach, Coach Hughes, who's a really good coach, by the way, but he's on the officials hard, a lot harder than what I saw Coach Paulson tonight. And they just teed up Coach Paulson. So maybe they're starting to say, maybe we had a...
Nice drive there. Dribble penetration by Trevin Richmond, the junior from Portland, Oregon. He's a 6-footer, 150 pounds, a little bit slight, but very aggressive and does a good job of
good crossover move. Offense. Crossover move. He's got that, come off that high on ball with a good crossover move. That's his game up there.
So Richmond in the first half had a couple nice jobs in transition off of made baskets. He will connect on a 3-point play. We've seen a number of 3-point plays tonight. A lot of fouls been called tonight in this one. 79-64, Fighting Saints in front. Braden Cook will head to the scorer's table. He'll be checking in on the next dead ball. And Andrew Cook has to pick up his dribble after a double team. Isaiah Moore swings it to Garrett Long. Long back to Moore, 14 on the shot clock. Isaiah Moore between the legs with the left hand.
Oh, that's a nice take.
And he's having a coming out for it offensively.
Is that 15 points for him?
He does. You got it right, Coach.
My goodness. It's been a quiet 15.
It has.
Yeah.
We know that he's a very capable defender as he tries to intercept that one. And as we're mentioning it, quick hands. Coulter Martin. Moore tried to get the steal there twice, almost got it. And now
I think they got a kick.
He did. Kickball was the call by the official. Jordan Bryant will check out. Bryant had a couple nice transition baskets there. Assisted Andrew Cook on those ones. So he'll head to the bench, and Braden Cook is back in. So a quick shot by Stevie Schlabach.
Well, he doesn't hesitate. That's a quick release, too. He should shoot more. They should run more stuff for him.
81-66, 11 minutes left. Braden Cook, Isaiah Moore. Brendan Temple is back in, the senior. So a nice pick there by Temple. Braden Cook gets the look, no good. Skying for the rebound is Trevin Richmond as he pushes the pace. The left-hand dribble takes it in. A kind of a wild shot is no good. Outlet pass from Brendan Temple to Isaiah Moore, who's been incredibly effective offensively, something we haven't seen this year. Him looking for his shot a little bit more. He's got 15 points, as you mentioned, Coach. And Andrew Cook shot, a nice shot there, no good. Good look though. Trevin Richmond from Portland will take a pick from Corey Johnson. Johnson's been shooting it well from the outside. He'll dribble in and kick it out. Spin move is an air ball, rebounded by Isaiah Moore. Aaron Von Brock with the spin move and air ball there. Garrett Long swings it to the corner. Isaiah Moore with the entry pass to Brendan Temple. Handoff. Moore gets there, and there's another two. Isaiah Moore.
Oh, he's having a great night.
17 points for the freshman from Fairfield, California. He's pumped, and so are his teammates. We'll see Johnny Hillman on the next dead ball checking in. He's got 4 fouls, so Schlabach with the nice surveying of the Saints defenders gets into the lane and draws a foul. He's a crafty offensive player.
Yes, he is. And Schlabach, 6'4" junior, Tigard High School, another high school kid.
A lot of Oregonians on the team.
He looks a little older, though. He looks like, I don't think he's a 19-year-old or 20-year-old.
So first free throw is good, and we'll see a wave of substitution by Eddie Alexander. Caden Sand back onto the floor, and then Spencer Hoffman, who's been tremendously effective offensively. He gets a little bit of a breather there. And the second free throw by Schlebach, who attempted 2 on the technicals. He will knock down both of those free throws as the Saints lead 83-68. Braden Cook bringing the ball up the floor. And Gary, you mentioned that inserting Cook as the primary ball handler was a change by Coach Paulson.
Yep. And what it does, it lets Johnny Hillman and Andrew Cook play more their natural position.
Garrett Long initiating some offense there. There's a scrum on the floor as Brendan Temple and Spencer Hoffman tried to get the rebound there. And then Garrett Long, as you mentioned, playing 100 miles an hour at all times. He dove on top and will be called for the foul.
And that's 19 fouls on Carroll. So after this, it's the double bonus. A lot of time left. That's kind of getting kind of spooky.
So Hoffman, who has already tonight 12 free throw attempts, will head to the line for a couple more, potentially. So Spencer Hoffman.
And he missed
in
one.
And out on the front end. Rebound offensively. Corey Johnson, that was too close for him. He had connected on 2 threes, but unable to convert the bunny. 83-68, Carroll College with possession. Braden Cook, the true freshman, on the floor with Isaiah Moore, another freshman. Johnny Hillman, the senior from Post Falls, back to the basket, hands it off to Garrett Long. Garrett Long, left-hand dribble, kicks to the corner. Isaiah Moore, he's been hot. 3-ball, no good. Rebound, almost a foul there from Hillman. That could have been his 5th, but Trevin Richmond hands it off to Corey Johnson. Johnson gets in. Good defense by Isaiah Moore. Ball is swatted out, ends up in Johnny Hillman's hands. So Johnny Hillman with 4 fouls again. Lucky to not get a call on the last one on the offensive rebound.
Got to be careful. They're going to need him.
Braden Cook gets it into Hillman. Hillman faces up, defended by Caden Sand. Hillman, left-hand dribble. Travel call as Sand did a nice job of staying with
and Nick,
multiple moves.
I did talk about Bushnell. Their Achilles heel was their defense. They're playing better defense this half.
They gave up
Coach
57 in the first.
Eddie Alexander, he got on them at halftime. They are playing harder on defense, and it's paying off for them.
So Caden Sand will attack. No good. Offensive rebound, Hoffman. Hoffman goes up against Temple, and he'll get called for the travel. So a nice offensive rebound by Hoffman, but he picked up his pivot foot and turnover.
He's 6'11", and he's pretty good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's not just a big guy. He's got skills.
We saw him knock down a 3 earlier in the second half, and he's been their predominant offensive force tonight. Speaking of which, Isaiah Moore has been terrific offensively. The freshman with as quiet a 17 as you may see in Frontier Conference action. Nice handoff there, and Moore will connect again. So Isaiah Moore.
And another assist for Johnny Hillman.
19 points for Isaiah Moore. Leads all scorers tonight for the freshman from Fairfield. He hasn't even been on the floor that much for the Fighting Saints. So we've got a 17-point margin. Fighting Saints in front from the Carroll College PE Center. Good entry pass by Hoffman into Schlebach. Schlebach attacks Isaiah Moore and gets the bucket.
And that time Isaiah got caught behind 2 feet from the basket. You can't let a guy catch it, especially a player as good as Schlebach gets the ball right that spot. You got to get out in front of him.
Derek Kramer and Andrew Cook head to the scorer's table. We'll see them shortly. Johnny Hillman back to the basket, defended by Sand. He picks up the dribble, passes it off to Garrett Long. Garrett Long flashes in and
that's nice Garrett Long's game right there. That's his game.
87-70, Fighting Saints in front, and back come the Beacons. Nice give and go there. Excellent pass by Schlebach to the cutting Hoffman in the lane for an easy 2. 87-72. Spencer Hoffman now with 20 points tonight. He has 10 rebounds, so a double-double for Hoffman. The game's leading scorer with Isaiah Moore next, 19 for Carroll. In and out there. Johnny Hillman. Hand check foul on Caden Sam. That's the second time he's been called on that one, and he is distraught with that call. We'll have a media timeout with 6 minutes. The second half going by pretty quickly.
Tremendous pace of this game. Lots and lots of shots. Quick offensive possessions.
And a lot of makes.
A lot of makes. Yeah.
62% still the Fighting Saints from the field. Bushnell is at 49%, but they have connected on 6 of 11 from deep. Carroll 8 for 13. And then on the free throw side, Carroll 11 for 12. And then Bushnell 18 of 24, 75%. So good free throw shooting, good.
And that's what's kept them in the ball game is the free throws. Carroll just, Carroll, a few too many fouls. That's too many. And they're aggressive and stuff. Sometimes you can be a little bit too aggressive.
I mentioned it before, and it goes without saying that sometimes assists ends up being the thing that in the stat sheet doesn't quite see the accuracy that you'd like to see, given the fact that it is so important. But tonight, the crew doing a fantastic job, and Johnny Hillman with 11 assists.
Yeah.
So the season high for him.
Yeah, and what's Andrew Cook? What is he on his assists?
7.
Yeah.
Andrew Cook 8 for 11 from the field. Isaiah Moore 8 for 10.
Oh, yeah. But this team, Carroll with a 15-point lead, but the way Bushnell can score points, you just don't feel like it's in the bag by any means. With 6 minutes left, they can score in a hurry.
87-72, 6 minutes and 13 seconds remaining in the game. Again, tomorrow night, the Fighting Saints will take on Corbin University. So come back tomorrow night to watch and listen to the Fighting Saints. Carroll Athletics. Braden Cook, Isaiah Moore on the floor, 2 freshmen. Also joined by Derek Kramer, the 3rd freshman. So some good youth. We'll be seeing a lot of these players for Coach Paulson in the coming years. Dribble between the legs, Hillman, Isaiah Moore. 3 ball is caroms off of the side of the backboard there, and back in transition.
Oh, that's a tough shot.
Richmond. So
transition, they are a good transition team. And that isn't the shot last time that Coach Paulson wants.
Isaiah Moore had been feeling it, and I think he just
that's not what he wants.
He wanted to see how hot he could be, and that was the heat check there. So 87-74. Andrew Cook gets into the lane. Shot is no good. Derek Kramer tries to come up with a rebound. No good. Bushnell in transition. Sand over to the corner. And Trevin Richmond.
I'm not sure traveled or stepped out of bounds.
Turnover for the Beacons.
It's right there where we can't quite see it.
I think it was the end line because they had him inbounding from the corner there.
Yeah,
87-74. Fighting Saints in front. They've led by as much as 20. Shooting the ball at an unprecedented clip offensively. They've been terrific. Johnny Hillman gets the nice give and go.
Another assist by Johnny Hillman.
Assist. Good job with the bounce pass. Sometimes you see those passes not on the bounce. And then back come Bushnell, Spencer Hoffman, the big man. So 2 big men finishes there. One by Kramer with the flush and one by Hoffman off the glass. Spencer Hoffman, 22 points, defending Derek Kramer, 6'9" from Bellevue. Johnny Hillman gets the pick from Kramer. 3 ball is no good. Andrew Cook with great job getting the rebound. Braden Cook had a nice look there, unable to connect, and back come Bushnell with Caden Long. No good. Ball comes out to Johnny Hillman.
There's a lot of contact going on both ends.
We've seen a lot of fouls. Carroll has 9.
And that time they decided they weren't going to call either one of those fouls.
They're letting them play. We've had a really quick clip to this second half here with just 4 minutes to play. Derek Kramer with he was going to give the pick, and now Johnny Hillman will. Nice fake in the lane, no good. He's struggled a little bit offensively, but he's been tremendous distributing the ball with 12 assists. Stevie Schlabach into the corner, long, and Hoffman, the big man, will shoot a 3, no good.
That's a big miss there. That would have cut it to 10 points. That was a pretty good look he had.
He wasn't bashful, the big man shooting the 3. So Braden Cook here, we're 3 minutes and 38 seconds remaining from the Carroll College PE Center. Fighting Saints in front by 13. They have 89 points. An offensive explosion. Johnny Hillman, left hand, gives it off to Isaiah Moore. Moore there's a hand check there. They've been consistent in calling that. Caden Long, freshman from Baker City, Oregon, gets the foul. So Derek Kramer will head to the bench, and Brendan Temple will come back on for the Fighting Saints. So with 89 points, as we mentioned, Brendan Temple has not had a lot of minutes. Johnny Hillman a little bit of foul trouble. This has just been a great team effort offensively.
Well, that's what you have to have when you have good teams. And Isaiah Moore has given him a huge burst. And playing Johnny Hillman, sometimes at the 4, sometimes at the 3, posting him up a lot, he has been very effective. 11, 12 assists already.
12.
Yeah, he's been very effective in that spot. And we talked about that, Nick, about Carroll, the coaching staff at Carroll finding where these guys can be effective. And that's such a key to being a good coach, is knowing where guys need the ball, who your guys are, what they can do, and where you're going to need to get them the ball where they can be effective. And I see Carroll doing that more and more.
So Johnny 2 for 9 from the field, so struggling a little bit with his shot, but he's doing a great job distributing the ball. A couple nice bounce passes to the big men, Kramer and Temple, among others, 12 assists.
Andrew Cook with a big game, Isaiah Moore with a big game. Yeah.
As for the Beacons, Spencer Hoffman, 22 points, 11 rebounds, 17 points from Stevie Schlebach. As you mentioned, he only has 9 shot attempts, 6 for 9.
That's not enough.
They've got some talented offensive players, but
they've played some. Johnny Hillman's mostly been on him. Andrew Cook, but he needs to shoot more. There's guys taking shots. That some of those shots, they need to get him the ball. He's really good.
3 minutes and 30 seconds left, and Spencer Hoffman aggressively trying to defend Brendan Temple. He picks up his first foul.
And that's 16 fouls, so the next foul, Carroll will be in the bonus, 1-1.
Carroll has 9 team fouls. Braden Cook gives it off to Temple, defended by Hoffman. Good,
that's a backdoor out of that play.
Yep.
Well defended that time by Bushnell.
Half the players on the floor are on the floor, literally, as a jump ball is called. Isaiah Moore gets helped up by his teammates. He helped create that jump ball as bodies were hitting the deck. 6 seconds will remain on the shot clock, so they will have to get into an offensive shot opportunity quickly here. 3 minutes remaining, and it will be Braden Cook with 3 on the shot clock. Calmly knocks it down.
And he's got such he's up so high. It's tough to get a good contest on him. He's got such great rise on that jump shot.
Fighting Saints 91, the Beacons of Bushnell University 76. Stevie Schleba drops it into Hoffman. Hoffman with a pass to Luke Smith. He tries to save it from being out of bounds and unable to for Luke Smith. The Fighting Saints in front by 15 here with 3 minutes left. They will play Corbin University tomorrow. Carroll looks to pick up their 6th victory. They're in control here. Scored 57 points in the first half. They have a chance to get to the century mark if they can keep up their pace. Brendan Temple gives it off to Johnny Hillman. Coach Kurt Paulson instructing his offense as they are milking the shot clock a little bit. Hillman drives the lane, kicks out to Temple. Temple goes into the body of Hoffman. Now back out to Hillman. 4 seconds on the shot clock. And a foul by Caden Sand, who has been just tortured by,
He hasn't liked too many of the calls that have gone. I think that's his 5th foul.
He didn't get a lot of minutes. He didn't like the way things went for him. And
well, he tried that little wrap around where the guy drives by you and you wrap around and try to poke the ball. And it's hard to do that without fouling. He might have got it clean, but it's hard to do without getting a piece of the guy. And the refs, they don't give you many breaks on that one.
Bailed him out a little bit there as there was 4 seconds on the shot clock.
Yeah.
And Johnny Hillman will step to the free throw line. He has 7 points to go along with his 12 assists and 4 rebounds. Hillman, the senior, again from Post Falls, Idaho, one of 2 senior starters, along with Brendan Temple, who was named Frontier Conference Player of the Week last week by virtue of 2 double-doubles.
And Hillman has been the primary defender on Steve Schleba, who is a really good offensive player. He's done a pretty good job of holding him down.
Johnny Hillman connects on both free throw attempts as the Fighting Saints inching closer to the 100 mark. They have 93 as they lead by 17. Trayvon Richmond gives it off. A nice little backdoor cut there, Luke Smith. And cleaning up his miss is Spencer Hoffman. Hoffman with 24 points for the big man. They will trap a little bit as the Fighting Saints get it up past midcourt. Just under 2 minutes to play. Johnny Hillman will dribble. There's no urgency as the Saints lead by 15 here. Hillman will then go to work against Luke Smith. Drops it off to Isaiah Moore. He takes a peek, and then there's a foul by Spencer Hoffman. They're going to send Moore to the line. That looked intentional to me, like that was the instruction.
Yeah, they would. Yeah,
send him to the line.
They needed to get the clock shot. And Isaiah Moore, I think he's probably one of the lower free throw percentage guys. He hasn't shot a lot of them this year.
He's got 19 points tonight.
Yeah.
It's a lead, Carroll. He'll look to get to 20. It would be his first 20-point effort of his career.
And that's the front end of a 1-and-1, which are really, that's a really important free throw to make.
So Moore has 20, the freshman from Fairfield, with a career high and leading the Fighting Saints. He gets both at the line, so 21 for Isaiah Moore, 95-78 as we go under the minute-and-a-half mark from the Carroll PE Center. Good entry pass to Hoffman. He gets an easy bucket off the backboard. 95-80. Hoffman, the game-leading scorer. 26 points to go along with 12 rebounds and 5 assists. Really good effort by him. Johnny Hillman, Luke Smith on the defense. Hillman on the floor, gets it to Temple. Temple over to Andrew Cook. Nice little fake up and under. 97 for the Fighting Saints, 80 for Bushnell. Stevie Schlebach dribbling between his legs, defended by Isaiah Moore. They try to get it into Hoffman. Nice defense by the Fighting Saints. 19 on the clock, just under a minute to play. Hoffman to the corner. Shot no good. Rebound to Andrew Cook.
That should do it.
The Fighting Saints will improve to 6-2 on the season and 4-0 at home. Great offensive effort by Carroll College as they are at 97. Braden Cook will release and knock it down. 99. I don't know if they'll get to 100, but
no,
that was 99. That's pretty good.
Unless they get fouled, I don't think they will.
So we've got 28 seconds left. A quick shot by Corey Anderson. He's displayed some really good offensive ability, the freshman.
Just a freshman, isn't he?
Yeah, knocks it down.
They've got some nice players. They're long, and they've got a nice concept offensively. And they played much better defensively the second half. They really did.
Shot clock to game clock. We'll just see them dribble it out here. So a really tremendous offensive effort. 99 points for the Fighting Saints. Much to the cheering section for the Fighting Saints. 99-82 will be the finish here. Braden Cook will hand it off to the official, and that'll do it for Carroll College, picking up the win. 4-0, the friendly confines of the Carroll College PE Center. Ranked number 23, they get to 6-2. A reminder that tomorrow they will face Corbin University at 7 o'clock. So come back and join us for